everybody, it's Joan, and today I am going to be going over my physical TBR list, my to be read list. And today I have with me, yet again, a blizzard. It is the Oreo cheesecake blizzard, which I know I had before. And the plan was originally to get a different blizzard each week to like kind of try them all. But I couldn't decide on a different one, and they didn't have a new blizzard of the month in yet because it's still July. It's July. So I still got this and I like it and it's good. So I'm enjoying this. And so now we're going to be going over my TBR list and all the books that I physically have that I have not read yet and want to read. So starting off with the book that I'm currently reading Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince because I am making my way through the Harry Potter series for the first time ever in my 20s. So I'm currently working on book 6 and I am about halfway done, which means about by the time we go back to school or a little bit beforehand, I will start working on book 7 and I will be able to say I've read the Harry Potter series. I'm actually enjoying these a lot more than I did the movies. And I think that's just kind of a consensus, but I'm really enjoying the Harry Potter series. And then if you look up on my shelf, all of these books are books that I have not read, but I own. So this one is the next one that I'm going to read. So after I finish up the Harry Potter series, I want to start reading more books that are like independently published or self-published and all that fun stuff. So this book right here is The Lost Child, and it's by Andrew Clegg, who actually goes to the same college that I do, which is how I found out about it, is because everyone that I know from school was like posting about this and posting that they were like, he was publishing a book, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I need to buy this. And I read it, and I read like the blurb, and it sounded really interesting. So that is coming up next after the Harry Potter series. And again, I'm just going over the physical ones that I have. There's so many other books that I don't have that I want to read. So those may come in a separate video. But for now, we're just going over the physical ones because, again, this is going to take a hot second. Next up, we have The String Diaries. I feel like this is something that my mom read, and then I kind of said, okay, I'm going to read this soon. So now I have it. And it's sitting on my shelf. So that's coming up after that. And then we have the 7th book in the Missing series by Margaret Peterson Haddix, Revealed. And this was, oh my gosh, this was the series in like 3rd and 4th grade that I loved. And I haven't finished it, and I really, really want to finish it. And I believe there's also an 8th book that she wrote, that she wasn't planning to write, but she wrote an 8th book. So this book, as well as any others, okay. So also whenever I get the new book in the series, because I was so adamant about getting the new one every single year at the book fair. Oh, book fairs. Oh, memories. But I also go back and reread the entire series every time I read a new book. So after, I don't know when this is going to come into play, but I also have all of the other 6 books sitting on my shelf. So after the books that I currently am planning to read, I want to go back and reread this entire series and finish it out for the first time because I haven't finished it yet and I really, really want to. And then next up we have 4. Now here's the thing. I don't remember if I read the last Divergent book or not. I feel like I did, but I also really don't feel like I did because I don't remember anything about it. The last thing I remember is a box. And I feel like that was the end of book 2. So I might have to go back and reread that series as well. And then we also have a kind of, not a classic book, but one that I should have read in high school, was The Outsiders. I was never assigned to read it, but it was something that like my siblings read in high school. And I thought I would, but I didn't. So I need to get around to reading that. And then I don't know what this is. The Book of Tomorrow. What would we know? What if we knew what tomorrow would bring? Would we fix it or could we? That sounds interesting. But these have been sitting up here for over 7 years. Like I've had some of these since middle school and I'm going into my senior year of college. So we'll see. That one sounds interesting. Oh, I just hit myself in the face. That one sounds interesting. I can take this one off of the shelf because I have read the first Harry Potter book. I listened to it once because I couldn't like actually physically read it because I just couldn't make myself. And then I also kind of like listened while reading it. But I've read this one, so that's coming off of the to be read shelf and sitting over there. And then, ooh, what's this one? Oh, this is part of this series. Okay, so I have, if you can't tell, I have some series that I need to like go back through and read, either reread or just read again. What is this called? the Lunar Chronicles. I feel like this is something that I should have read already, but I didn't. I think people got these for me for like Christmas and my birthday and stuff, but got Cinder, Scarlet, and Fairest that I have not read yet. And then again, a book I feel like I should have like read in middle school. Like it's just something that I think middle school me would have read, was Dear John by Nicholas Sparks. I've never read anything of Nicholas Sparks. I know a lot of people have. I personally have not, and there's no reason for that. I just never got around to reading it. So we'll do this sometime. Don't know when it'll come up, but sometime. And then, oh, so I got this book. It's called The Missing Girl, and I got it at like a, not like a book sale, but a book sale, at a convention center for like $2. So got The Missing Girl, The Girl with All the Gifts. Again, I feel like some of these I just like, my mom read, and then I was just like, okay, I'll read them next, but I've never gotten around to reading them. This is one I've had on my shelf for a long time. The Secret Garden. I'm not really sure what it's about. I think it was made into a movie. But again, it's just one of those books that I've had on my shelf for a while that I want to read, but haven't gotten around to it. And then we got Keeping Faith. I feel like I have read this one. I don't know if I've made it all the way through, but The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. I've read some of this book. I don't know if I've made it all the way through. And it's not a hard read. It's like, there's pictures and stuff, which is awesome. Okay, and I do feel like I have read this one, The Time Traveler's Wife, but it's one that I read, I think it was early high school, if not late middle school, and I don't remember all of it. Like, I remember parts of it, but like not all of it, but I feel like I've read the entire thing, but I also just want to reread it because why not? And then we're just gonna move all of my DVDs over. And then we also have Beloved or Beloved. I'm not really sure which way to pronounce it. I started reading it and then I kind of stopped because I went to school and I just didn't have time to read anything anymore. So that's also still sitting on my shelf. And then the Narnia series. The Chronicles of Narnia. I still haven't read this. And again, it's one of those, I'm just like, I feel like I should read it. I think this is the entire series in here. Like all of the books. That's pretty cool. So maybe this will be like a second semester of college type thing that I'll read. And then we got Just Listen. And again, I don't know what this is about. It's just, there's just some things that I'm just like, books, shelf, okay. And I think that was also one that my mom read that, or just someone had sitting around that somehow got put on my shelf, or I put it on my shelf. You never know. All right, and then we got The Vanishing Violin. And for those of you who don't know, I play violin. I started in 5th grade, still playing in college. I'm not the best, but I do enjoy it. And then next up we have Abandon. And again, I've had this on my shelf since like high school. And it's just one of the things I've never gotten around to reading because I keep finding new books I want to read. And then I just read those instead. And then this is the same, I got this at the same fair that I got the other book at, called A Corner of the Universe. And it's just, there's a lot of them. So many books. And I'm sure other people's TBR lists are a lot bigger than mine. But these, again, are just the physical books that I have that I want to read. Like, there's other things that I want to read. Like, I want to read Sherlock Holmes. I want to read all of the Sherlock Holmes. Like, the original, like, books. Because, I don't know. I just feel like that would be interesting. I don't know. And then the last 3 that I have up here aren't actual books. And I have, I believe, read these all. Yeah. So these are the Avatar comics. So basically what happens after the show, and it tells you what happens to Zuko's mom and all of that cool stuff. I'm not sure if it happened in these books, but I know that at least for sure in some of the later comics as well. And they're coming out with like new comics about Kyoshi, so that's super exciting. And I will definitely have to look into those when I have the time. When I have the time, because I don't know when I'll have the time. This is also getting super melty, so like I don't want to like tip it over so like it actually comes out, but like it's getting all melty. So those are all the books that I have on my physical to be read list, the books that I have that I haven't read. And we will make it through all of them. I promise we will. It'll be interesting to see if I do something like this later and see like, oh yeah, I still haven't read that book. But there's also books on my to be read list that I don't have, that I haven't bought. Some of them I'll just get from the library. Some of them I will buy to support independently published authors, because we need to support them, and one day I will be that, and I want people supporting me, so I'm gonna support them now. That's what it is. But I am going to keep working my way through the Harry Potter series, written by She Who Will Not Be Named. This is so good. And I really love the little cheesecake bites in it, and the little Oreo chunks. And as it melts, it kind of gets chocolatey. That is all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed all the books that I have to read. If you want to read any of these, pick them up at your local library, or get them from like a bookstore. Do what you do, however you get your books. If you want to read it on an ebook, that's cool too. But if this gave you some suggestions, that's awesome. If there's any books that you guys want me to read, please let me know. Also, if you're a published author, let me know what your book is down in the comments below, and I will definitely go check it out. There's a few books from AuthorTubers that I know about that I need to read. I just haven't gotten around to it. As you can see, I have a lot of books I need to read. But I am looking forward to getting around to reading more AuthorTubers books. It's so exciting. It's so exciting. But I will leave it there for today. We're on week 4 of camp. Camp is coming to an end. This is terrifying, but I'll talk about that in the vlog. And I will see you guys all next week. Bye!